Once upon a time one Kappa lived in the edge with the waterfall. This Kappa has mysterious power. He can change the plate on the head to any article. He makes a beautiful flower bloom near an edge or makes a big fish, and a person was going to catch it, he catches an arm and pull it in water deeply. For Kappa, we do not know how many people lost their life until now. The samurai named Caution lived in the village near this edge. He was known as a man of great strength in the village. He lifted a bag of rice with one hand or pulled even the baggage car up, which fell into a mire easily. One day, Caution comes near this edge. He walks to the way back from the town, then the ornamental hairpin is floating in front of him. It is not the article which the daughter of the village gets with. When I see it well, it is the excellent ornamental hairpin which seems to have princess of the castle. I found a good thing. Caution stretched out a hand unintentionally and was going to take this ornamental hairpin. A pale arm grows from water immediately and catches a wrist of Caution. Caution being surprised, and will put back his hands, but the power is very, very strong. He almost fell down in water at any moment. However, as is expected, Caution is known in strong people. On the contrary, he caught the pale arm and was going to pull it to the top. Both power is strong and pull it and are pulled, the game is not readily over. Still one Kappa appeared when Caution laid emphasis with all his might and held out. He knew then it was the act of the Kappa. Caution threw it to the back when he just raised the Kappa on the top. It make a sound plump. The Kappa is flung against a rock behind. Caution was relieved and rushed up to the side of the Kappa. That was a close call. Come to think of it, an ornamental hairpin cannot float in the water. When he look at the Kappa it only lose mind, hurt nowhere. As is expected, it is worthwhile the master of the edge. When Caution took the vine of tree nearby and tied up a Kappa, he carried it on his shoulder and brought it back in a house. People of the mansion are surprised to see a Kappa. This is what's called Kappa indeed. Still, look terrible. After all, master is great to catch such a Kappa alive. When everybody admired, a Kappa opened eyes suddenly. It noticed. It is serious if escaped. People of the mansion trussed the Kappa up with a rope and tied it to the tree of garden. When the Kappa comes to this, it can do nothing. The Kappa bowed the head with a deplorable face. To see it, Caution said. Well, don't forget. No matter what happens, don't give it water. However, when it is night, the Kappa cried like a bark. Whine! Whine! It is noisy and cannot stand. One of the maids who worked in a kitchen jumps out to the garden and said, it is noisy, stop it. And beat by the water dipper. Water left in a water dipper suffered from the plate of the head of the Kappa when the maid beat the brain of the Kappa in the water dipper with a rap. Then it got well in a moment, and the Kappa tore a rope of the twine and just jumped out to the outside of the garden. A Kappa escaped. A Kappa escaped. To hear the cry of the maid, Caution shook and the person of the mansion rushed, but did not see the figure immediately. However, this Kappa is never drew a person in water whether it learned lesson from this.